Hello, good morning everyone. So nice to see you on this sunny day in lockdown. So today we're really honoured to be joined by the fabulous Lynn Rees. Lynn Rees runs her own virtual assistant, fantastic company. She's recently started and she has become a member of AGN fairly recently, only last month after she had a trial membership. So we're really pleased that she can join us today for her member spotlight. So please welcome to the screen the fabulous Lynn Rees. Here she comes. There you are. Hi.
Morning.
Right.
Yeah, you?
Good. Not too shabby.
Good.
Too shabby. Enjoying this lovely Friday morning, isn't it? Super stuff. Just going to turn my phone off because it's bleeping away already. Oh, there's no rest from the wicked, is there? It's always good. I'm just going to pop it on Facebook as well, just in case anyone does comment without giving permission to StreamYard, because we tell people every time, but they forget. So, yeah, if anyone does want to make any comments, if anyone does want to say hello, please do that. I've got one person saying, yay, Lynn. I don't know who you are. Hi, wherever you are. Please make sure just at the top of this, so obviously where we're streaming it to the Coronavirus Business Support Group and Ambition Growth Network, just make sure you click where it says give permission to StreamYard to use your face and your name. That way we know who you are. So that's exciting, isn't it? Lovely.
Yes, nice.
Oh, we have another person.
We have another person. Ladies.
Good morning. Ladies, I know. I'm excited. Feeling the love this morning. That's cool. Super stuff. So I thought I'd let you do your little intro. Tell us all about who you are, what you're all about, Lynn, and yeah, take it away.
Well, most of you know me. Maybe. I'm Lynn and I recently set up my virtual assistant business and I launched in July. So yeah, it's exciting. It's new.
It's
lots of learning curves.
Lovely.
Lots of learning curves. It's been really good.
I think it's good. Obviously, when there's been a lot of new businesses come out of this COVID lockdown malarkey, isn't it? And actually a lot more people taking the lead in their businesses, isn't it? And actually going, right, okay, it's quite empowering to be able to work for yourself, isn't it? So well done you. Fantastic. So
we've got another good morning, ladies.
Good morning, ladies, but we still don't know who you are.
Don't know who you are.
Oh, if you don't give permission, just write your name at the end so at least we can wave like frantic goddesses going, hello, good morning. Fab stuff. Wonderful. So tell us a little bit more about why you started your business. So obviously you're, 4 or 5 months in?
Yeah. So, I mean, I've always been in admin. Apart from what I was saying earlier, was in my late teens, I thought it would be a good idea to go into childcare. I really don't know why I thought that was a good idea. You know, because it's always been under my nose. My mum, she's always worked in an office and done like secretarial work. And I remember going into the office with her when I was little and doing the photocopying and just pretending to type. And yeah, you know, that's back in the day when kids were allowed to go to work with you. You know, so it was always under my nose and I loved playing the secretary kind of role. But anyway, so after kind of realising childcare wasn't for me, I did my business admin level 2. And then my first job was as a sales secretary. And while I was there, I then also did my business admin level 3. I did all my word processing and all my typing, touch typing and everything like that. And then my career's just sort of like, you know, gone on from there. So, you know, I literally started out doing temping work, you know, on reception and, you know, to gain some experience. And ever since then, I've just landed like all kinds of administration roles from customer service to sales. The peak of my career, if I should say that, is I was a PA to a European managing director and I was supporting his directors. So I was like board level PA really. So loved that job. Absolutely loved it. Had to be on your toes. And it was kind of that you are kind of the person, the go-to person, Lynn will know about that. Lynn will know about that.
You're the brilliance of the business. It's surprising, actually.
It was, yeah, it was just a fantastic role. It was varied. You know, there was a real kind of good amount of responsibility there, stuff that I could really get my teeth into, you know, organising the whole sort of like meetings and events for the year, arranging travel, you know, to China and things like that. It was just fantastic. And then I fell pregnant. And I had a really, really rough pregnancy. Yeah, very, very rough. Carrying twins, which kind of made me very ill. And I didn't return to work. So I put in for redundancy. And obviously, when you've had children, it's really hard to get back into another role that's going to give you that responsibility and, you know, just trying to fit around your, you know, fit in around your family life, you know. So
lifestyle business is difficult, isn't it? I think
it is really hard as a mum, you know, and doing office work and trying to find something. So I think I was working evenings at a travel agency. It was a call centre. So I've done a little bit of travel consultancy as well. Yeah, learned a lot there. That was really good. Yeah, and then we moved. So that was in Kettering, Northamptonshire, and we moved to Plymouth. Wanted more to offer for the children, you know, more things to do as a family. So we moved down here. Plus, my husband, he's from Plymouth. So, and I'd lived down here back in 2000, and I really liked it. But yeah, moved down here, and I worked at St Luke's Care. So that was a brand new role that I set up from scratch, which was a branch administrator for a care agency, if you like, and they supported the hospice. So that was really good, you know, real good variety of work there. And then my most recent role as a project administrator. So yeah, I've had a varied role. I've got a lot of experience.
I think this is the thing, isn't it? Obviously, we were talking just before we came on air, actually, about kind of what you used to do, isn't it? And I think it's interesting, isn't it? I think, obviously, if you look on LinkedIn, obviously, I've put snippets of my CV, but yeah, I did hundreds of different things before. I kind of found my flow of what I really enjoyed doing and kind of really where my genius lied from that point of view. Because actually, yeah, when you're working for other people, it can be really, really tricky, isn't it? Because you've got to do as you're told and kind of fit in around what they're doing and find a role that really kind of resonates with you and something that you can really shine doing. So, so you took the plunge in July?
Yeah, I took the plunge. So in my last role, I kind of, as much as I loved the variety of work and I loved my immediate team, outside of that, it was making me very, very unhappy. So, you know, you just get to a point in your life. I mean, I'm in my 40s and it kind of hit me and I thought, I can't be unhappy like this. Life is too short. And I'd been researching VA work at the end of last year. And when I was reading about it, I was like, oh my God, there's actually admin. It was like dream come true for me. But I thought it was only going on in America. So I carried on researching it. And then I came across a lady who's in Brighton, and she's kind of got a tribe of VAs, and she's done loads of blogs, and I just read everything there was to know.
Yeah.
And so that combined with being sent home to work in March and working from home and implementing new systems to support my project managers and still carry on doing what I was doing, I was like, well, I'm doing this and I'm loving it. So, you know, and then I was kind of like, but I am unhappy. I didn't want to go back. The thought of it, just made me feel so anxious. So we had a savings pot, and I talked to my husband, and I just was like, this is something I need to do. And I kept thinking about it. And when I thought, if I don't do this, I just had like a real feeling of regret. It really deep inside me. I've never had that about anything before, like regret. And that along with, you know, being unhappy and you only get one shot in life was enough for me to just take the plunge. And, you know, and I have, and I'm so glad I have.
You're enjoying it now, yeah? It looks like
you're enjoying it. It's hard. I'm not going to lie. It's hard because, you know, all I want to do is admin. That's all I want to do is admin. but I've got to put that marketing hat on, and
You've got to do video. That's scary, isn't it? Oh, bless you.
You know,
I think
I've got to do it.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just one of those things, isn't it? Obviously, you get really in your comfort zone where you're like, yeah, I love admin, I love crunching numbers, I love kind of doing behind the screen type work, isn't it? And as I said, obviously, we've been on quite a few of the calls, the coaching calls through AGM, through the membership, and just really stretching that comfort zone slightly, isn't it? Not necessarily jumping outside it, but stretching it so that you can do your little videos, you can do your little kind of things that perhaps you wouldn't have normally done from that point of view. But once you've done it, it kind of gives you that kind of, wow, I'm pretty awesome. I've managed to do it. I didn't actually, the panic beforehand and the worry. And I think most of us are overthinkers, aren't we? From doing stuff where it goes to, oh my God, I've never done this before. But you just know that actually, in order to make the most of your marketing, to get people knowing who you are, you've got to get more visible, isn't it? This was your goal, I think, wasn't it, for the week?
It was my accountability for the week, which was to be more visible. You know, after kind of that little setback of, you know, the second lockdown, after a day of sulking and panic, I was like, right, I need to just pull my big girl pants up and get on with it. You know, like every other person that is getting on with it. And do you know what? There's people out there far in a worse place than I am. You know, and yeah, I was just like, right, I really need to just get visible. And because I'd let the networking sort of slack a bit, you know. So yeah, this week I've smashed the networking. I mean, I've done so much networking.
And I'm like, everyone that I've been on as well. I'm like, hey, Lynn, there she is.
And then ending this week with this. It's just like the perfect focus for my week, isn't it? Visibility. But yeah, if you'd have told me back in June, July that I'd be doing this, because I was one of those people that if I go into a meeting, I'm all right taking minutes, but it takes a lot of confidence to even stop and say, would you like me to minute that? You know, I don't like talking in front of people.
It's vocal, isn't it? It's the confidence, isn't it?
Yeah. You know, it doesn't bother some people, but, you know, I have to feel really comfortable with the people that I'm with to be able to speak out loud. And I am taking small steps. You know, I can speak in a group now of like 3, 4, 5 people. And, you know, I never thought in a million years I'd ever be in that position, you know, because as my job, I'm used to sort of like sitting and working like on my own, really, and using my own initiative and, you know, working with teams, you know, some of the time, but usually it's just one-to-one, you know, and not kind of having to talk about me and what I do in a group of people. So,
absolutely. And today you've arrived to over 6,000 people. So that's only you.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
Comments come up. I didn't want to interrupt your flow. I like this one. This one's really nice. I don't know who it's from though. Oh, moving from your comfort zone to your adventure zone. That sounds good, doesn't it?
Yes.
That's really good.
Yeah, I like that.
She's managed to click the right box. She's a bit of a guru when it comes to marketing. And good morning, ladies. I like this little comment as well. I started waving.
Oh, thank you, Anna.
I'm a big waver. I've got to say, I do wave a lot. It's kind of in replacement for hugging, I think. I'm thinking, obviously, having to do virtual life, it almost feels like at the moment, doesn't it? Lockdown's been a really odd time where we're all kind of stuck on our own in our own little houses, and the only interaction we're getting is either going shopping. The highlight of the week is to go food shopping, or we kind of can get on Zoom and obviously do these Zoom meetings or StreamYard, whichever ones you're using. But I think the world is changing, isn't it? And the way that we communicate is changing. And like you said, with the virtual assistant role, I first came across those letters VA probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And I was too embarrassed to ask what it was. I was like, what on earth is VA? I was like, I've never even heard of it. And it was actually at an FSB meeting that I went to, one of the first networking things, and I was sat next to a VA. And I was like, you're not very virtual, you're sat next to me. And I was like, it just, for me, I was like, imagine someone across the other side of the world kind of doing bits and pieces.
Literally virtual.
Yeah, like virtual, or like some bot or like a robot type thing. And I was like, surely you're just a PA. And she says, yeah, but I don't actually come to your place of work. I do it from home. I was like, oh, that's just magic, isn't it? And I think actually it's really nice to be able to see how the world's changing and embrace technology, and actually the way that the internet's working now and the way that you can communicate. People don't need to be in an office all together anymore, isn't it? And I think it's going to be really difficult going back after lockdown for going back to the old ways, because actually it's far more efficient, isn't it? We were just talking about wearing our slippers during a little talk, but we don't have to get in it booted and suited. We don't have to travel in the car. We don't have to get stuck in traffic. We don't have to do all the things from previously before. And again, people can utilize their time much more efficiently, and especially if you're working around a family, I think this is great, isn't it? If you're self-employed, you choose the hours that you want to work. And I think this for me was one of the reasons that I started my own business, was because I wanted the flexibility. But again, there's so many things that you've got to do when you run a business, isn't it? And I think you're learning this as well, isn't it? Because most people just want to do what they're really, really good at, and they think, yep, I'm going to run a business doing what I'm good at. But actually, they need the help and support of all those other arenas, all the other things that you've got to do in business to support you through that. Because actually, you're probably not a marketing guru. You're probably not done, obviously you've probably done accounts and stuff like that before, but the marketing, the social media, how to get new clients on board, and actually how do I write a privacy policy for my website, or kind of all the other bits and pieces that you have to think about when you run a business. It's not just necessarily doing the work. And I remember actually on our first coaching call, we were talking about hourly rates, because this is quite tricky, isn't it? Going from a mindset of being an employee and having an hourly rate or or an annual wage, isn't it? And actually working down hour by hour what you do for that, isn't it? Because actually, although you've got chargeable hours, there's still loads of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that you don't actually necessarily charge out for. And that's why obviously that's included within obviously the packages that you do, isn't it? So
yeah. I mean, the hourly rate, is to cover the overheads. I know I'm at home, but there's all the software subscriptions, and like you say, so much time goes into the marketing, especially when you're building the business. And then when you're at where you want to be, you still need to be doing it. So it's
it's exciting stuff, isn't it? So give me a little bit of an example of perhaps one of your clients that you've got and what you actually do for them. Because I think, again, when we look at outsourcing things and delegating out stuff to someone outside of our kind of bubble, I suppose, from that point of view, isn't it? If you employ someone, they're kind of in your kind of safe zone, aren't they? But obviously when you're outsourcing things to other people, what kind of jobs do you do on a daily basis for other companies then?
So I've been working with a lady. She's a coach. She's like a confidence and lifestyle business coach. She one of the things that she wanted to do was to move to provide a group training program online. So she found me. We were in a group together, and we started working together. We've been working together, probably about 6 weeks now. But it all first started out that she wanted to find a system, an online system that would do all these things. So, we kind of, I went away and did loads of research, and it's amazing how many systems are out there. And I have learned a huge amount just from the research, so from what she told me, I came across like a client onboarding system like Dubsado, which basically, just automates everything for you. But then there's also other systems, and it's a system called Zapier that integrates various systems that does the same thing. So, and then there was plugins that you could have on your WordPress website. Honestly, it was phenomenal how much I came across. And so I was like putting it all together, providing her with this table and passing it. And do you know what? It was just ongoing. It probably about 4 weeks of doing that to find, because in the end, from there, we then went on to an online teaching system. So I was looking at Thinkific, Teachable, Learn Worlds for her. But sometimes finding the answers to what she wanted was really hard, so I would go onto Facebook groups and ask other VAs. I think I signed up to the Thinkific Facebook group and ask questions in there just to try and get the answers. So again, comparing two sites. And then we came across a scheduling system that actually does a bit of client onboarding as well, and it books the coaching calls. So yeah, we after a lot of research, we got to a system, and she made the decision that's the one she wants to go with. So I've been helping her set that up, and I've been putting all the client profile on there, her terms and conditions, trial running it, putting all the dates of the program that she's running, putting all the dates on there, just trialing it, making sure that payment is going through and everything like that. So that's been really good. So we're kind of at the end of that, and I think she's going to be launching her first program on the 8th of December, which is really exciting. So it's been lovely to be part of her journey, and we've really bonded. It's like, we're like buddies, which is really nice. I love working with people where there's a real mutual respect and value, and she's been amazing. She's so appreciative of everything that I've done for her, because she wouldn't have had the time to do it otherwise. So it's been a good journey to see, where she's now finally got. So we've come to the end of that project. And what did she send over the other night? Some transcription work. So being part of, the coaching world, you have to be part of the governing bodies and things like that. She had done a coaching call that she'd recorded on Otter, and I just had to listen to the audio and double check the document, the written. Yeah. So again, something new, really enjoyed it. So, I did that for her as well, and we should just see how that role grows. So, some of the clients come to me just for a one-off. It could be for a period of time. It could be ongoing, such as invoicing. They want invoicing done every week, and that just keeps going on and on and on. So it is, it's really varied, but I've loved working.
Like having a member of staff, isn't it? More perks, because obviously, you can have as many hours or as little hours. You haven't got to pay any holiday. You haven't got to worry about sick leave. You haven't got to worry about pensions. So I think obviously the flexibility of having a VA in your business, it's almost like having another kind of part of it, and someone to bounce ideas off against as well. Because I think obviously a lot of the people that we're dealing with are kind of solopreneurs, so they're working on their own. They don't have a team of people that perhaps obviously can do. A lot of entrepreneurs are quite sort of visionary. They like getting all the ideas, they like doing all the stuff, but they don't necessarily like what we call the back office type thing. And actually that can really make or break a company, because you can carry on for quite a while without kind of managing the back office very well. But then it gets to crunch time, isn't it, when you've got your first set of accounts to put in, or if you get to get VAT registered and things like that. And actually you just need to make sure that the admin side of things is done properly, isn't it? Because it's really the foundation, I think, for any business. But I really like the way that you said that actually, you can become friends, isn't it? And actually, we
have.
You're not a bot, you're not stuck in a computer, and actually, help.
But what was really nice as well is that times she was so in it, she couldn't see it from another perspective. So I was kind of like a sounding board for her, and she was just like, thank you so much. You are so right. Yeah, I didn't see it from that point of view. And she would kind of pick up, she was like, God, you really are detailed, aren't you? It's like things. It's like, well, that's what I do. It's all about the detail, the nitty gritty of everything. You've got all the ideas. I extract them from you, and I go away and I do all the nitty gritty stuff. Really. So it was good, but it was nice knowing I helped her in that other way, not just the practical way, but in that way of being able to help her, see things from a different perspective.
I think so many people
really good.
Work in their business, doing what they do rather than on their business. And I think with aging especially, it does make you think outside the box a little bit, doesn't it? And look at things that perhaps you've never even thought of, that can optimize your income, that can optimize the time that you've got as well. Because I think those two things many things really that we can't get back, isn't it? And actually look at. Got a really lovely comment here from Becky. Well done, Becky, for saying yay to them.
Hello, Becky.
Oh, that's really lovely. Sounds great, Lynn. I think
lovely. She's great. She's been amazing as well. I've kind of messaged her, you know, with various things. She's awesome. Becky is.
Excellent.
Brilliant.
Oh, Becky, thank you for commenting. Really appreciate that. And it's nice actually to have that actual physical support, isn't it? Because I think obviously when we talk about support, there's so many different ways that we can support one another, isn't it? And actually by just doing stuff sometimes can be what we need. I know a lot of business owners, especially at the moment, are just burnt out with to-do lists and things that they need to do. And as I said, if it's at the bottom of the to-do list, all those little tasks that you just don't want to do or can't do or don't find the time to do, those procrastinations, outsource it. Find a lovely lady called Miss and outsource it. Do that, absolutely.
Even I kind of, leave my expenses to the end of the week, and it's, but I don't mind doing them, but there's some people that, we could go by, then 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 3 months, so that's kind of what we're here for, is to pick up all those niggly little things, that are necessary, but people just don't like doing them, do they? That's why we're here.
It's quite funny actually. When I used to run my letting agency, my sister used to work for me, and she was very much like you. She was very kind of detail orientated. She loved a spreadsheet. She loved all the admin side of things, and she always said to me, she was like, "Oh, I love admin. I'm always going to do admin." And I was like, "Oh," and then we're so different, Jane. I was definitely not an admin type person, and the thought of having to do the books and kind of I do it, but I don't find joy in it whatsoever. No. I like looking at the bottom figure. That's the only thing that gets me excited.
What of your expenses spreadsheet? Look at how much you've spent.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Or the other one.
Maybe the other one, absolutely. I think it's one of those things, isn't it? The more that you know about your business, because again, especially when you're starting off new, it's really good to get into a good routine with it, isn't it? And again, just make sure that you've got all the I's dotted and the T's crossed, because you can get so out of sync so quickly with bits and pieces. But obviously you've been working with one of our other members, Louise. Obviously she's got you onboarding, doing all kinds of wonderful bits and pieces.
I'm really excited to get working with Louise. Really looking forward to it. It's that creative stuff. I have got that little bit of a creative bone in my body. What was I doing the other day? I was doing, because another source of work was associate work, and I had to put all of my skills and experience, industry experience and everything like that onto something. And I was like, well, don't just want to stick it on an email. It'd be ideal if that person, if that lead VA could actually save it somewhere. And I found myself making this letter head template, my logo and everything, and I was having a real good play around on Word. I was loving it. And my husband came home and he was like, "Did you do that?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "You are so good at all that designy stuff." And I do love it. And I think if you love something, it really shows. But just playing around, I learned a few more little things on Word, to be honest. But what else did I do recently? I did 10 A4 designs on Canva of various forms for a girl that's just setting up her Forest of Dean Business Women. She's going to be putting it online to share, and I love that as well. I love all that design work, the template work and stuff like that. So I think it's good doing what I'm doing, because I'm getting a real variety. That's kind of what it was about for me. Every job I was looking for, it was always like, there's got to be variety. I can't just be doing the same thing every day. I don't mind doing the mundane stuff. I love data input. Most people hate it. I love it. But there are certain jobs that are, really boring, aren't they?
It mix it up, isn't it? I think from that point of view, mix it up with the fun stuff as well, isn't it? But everybody gets different things are fun. I've got to say, data input for me, would bore the socks off me, I've got to say, from that point of view. But then you really enjoy it. But then actually, public speaking, you're probably thinking, oh my God, but you're doing it. You've managed half an hour. Impressive.
I just try not to watch anything back because I'll just
This is the thing.
But you know, it's kind of I've just seen Becky's comment there as well. You know, it's about learning new systems as well. You know, like really, yeah.
Thanks, Becky. Yeah, I think through talking to other people, you learn so much more stuff, which is why networking is really interesting. By doing our coaching calls is really interesting, but also just having the time just to let the information flow out. I said, obviously, we never script these sorts of things. They're very, just have a coffee, let's just chit chat, because actually that's when really great ideas can happen sometimes. So, yeah, it does sound good, doesn't it? She's just popped on here as well. We need to get you trained up on MailChimp.
Yeah, and that is definitely something I want to do. Definitely something I want to do. I think it's really valuable, like now, especially now for businesses wanting to, you know, kind of get their newsletters out and everything and be visible, I guess. And with Christmas around the corner as well. So yeah, Lily was talking to me about MailChimp as well, and I'm going to be focusing on trying to get a course done with my mentor about MailChimp and just basically email marketing, because I'd really love to add that skill to my belt, because I think it would be really useful.
Definitely.
And again, I'm not pigeonholed now. I can learn whatever I want to learn now, which is really exciting. It's good.
It gives you the time, doesn't it? I think when you're running your own company and you've got those choices in front of you, isn't it? And actually seeing what people need, I think that's really interesting, just to listen to your client, isn't it? And go, what are your pain points? Because again, they've got thousands of things that are probably on their to-do list that have been there for more than a week. And there's the bits and pieces that they're putting off, which they know they need to do. They need to talk to their clients. They need to get that information out, isn't it? And I think, as I said, this one-to-many kind of strategy is far easier than having one-on-one meetings, but actually getting a video out, sending out emails to everybody. It's one bit of work, but actually to people get to see it. And I think actually that's where you can look at growing your business and actually making the most of what you've got, isn't it, from that point of view? So
definitely kind of learning about other people's businesses and, you know, what it is that they're doing is definitely the way forward. You know, when I'm doing the networking, I'm kind of really intrigued to learn about what other people are doing and just find out more about them. So yeah, it's all good. It all helps, doesn't it?
Yes. So obviously clients and stuff at the moment, I said, obviously you said that you've got a few people that do sort of ad hoc. You've got a few people that obviously do regular work with you. What are you going to do when you get to capacity? Because there's only so many hours in a day. Are you going to look at growing your business? Are you going to look at what's your thoughts for next year? Because it will very soon get to the point where however many hours you've got in the week is full up, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that, you know, if the inquiries keep coming in, I think the one thing I need to be really mindful of is, the not getting in that situation where I'm so deep in, you know, everything else is getting neglected because all I'm doing is client work. I think I would definitely take on an associate, because I've been there. It's really hard. And some people do, especially introverts, they find it really difficult to put themselves out there, but they're fantastic at what they do as a VA. So I would probably take on a VA, to be honest, to kind of, help them. You know, it would be nice. It would be nice to do that, you know, not nice to be in that position, you know, but I know as I go along, I'll certainly also be like watching out for the things that I don't enjoy. And I think I've made that perfectly clear that I don't like marketing, you know. So, I mean, Lily does take care of my Facebook at the moment, but you know, it's about, isn't it? Like doing what you're good at.
Finding your flow, isn't it? I think if you're going against the grain or against the tide, it just makes your whole life feel a lot harder. Sometimes it's much just to, as I said, we only get this one life and we only get a certain amount of hours in the day, and it's really making the most of that, isn't it? If we've got families and we've got obviously a certain amount of money that we need to obviously have each month to live the lifestyle that we want, isn't it? Because I think actually you don't need a huge amount of money to live a fairly easy life. But at the same time, if you want obviously extra bits and pieces, isn't it? Or if you want to be able to save up to have the house of your dreams, I would say the holidays, but that's gone out the window at the moment, isn't it? With lockdown, I was like, oh, frustrating, so frustrating. But yeah, it's interesting stuff, isn't it? But it's all about having those goals, isn't it? And that next step to really push yourself to find out what you need on there. But no, that's really good indeed. Super stuff. So we talked previously about obviously some top tips. Have you got anything that you could kind of give out to people to obviously help them with regards to outsourcing or managing their admin stuff?
Well, I mean, with regards to just generally kind of being able to stay on top of your workload, is I really do recommend like to-do lists, whether that be on a piece of paper or whether you use a Trello board, you know, along with time blocking. I personally find that I'm more productive if I'm organised and I time block. You know, even to the extent of, you know, don't forget that you know, that there are emails that you need to respond to, and, you know, I just think being organised really does help. And I know time blocking certainly helps me. But also, I think if you're ever in a position where what can sometimes happen is you have an idea, but it just falls to the bottom of the list because it doesn't seem important. But actually, if you spent the time needed to address that, how it would improve and save you time is amazing. And sometimes just don't forget about that. Have a look at, when you're looking at your tasks, actually, what tasks, if you gave them time, could actually free up some time, you know? And that could be systemizing. You know, it could be, you know, that you do implement something. And I think that's really important, because I think what can happen is it just falls to the bottom of the to-do list because there's always something, you know, else that needs to crop up. You know, you can sort of juggle things around, and, you know, it's about kind of recognizing that. And obviously then if you are literally, I cannot get around to this ever, it's a case of, you know, because some clients I've had a consultation with, and they're like, I need you, but I don't know how I need you. I just really need help. And it's kind of, I had to sort of tell one guy to go away and literally over the next couple of days make a list of all that he does, because let's face it, it's quite difficult to just sit there and write a list of every task that you do. You'd probably miss 40% of it off. So over, you know, a couple of days, write all the tasks down and then go through them and decide, well, what can I only do? What is, you know, that I cannot hand over? This is my expertise and only I can do this. And then sort of like highlight then the tasks that, you know, that you could hand over eventually. And then whatever's left is kind of the things that could be outsourced. But also when you're doing that list, recognize, well, how long does it take me to do that task? You know, because if that's a couple of hours, and you're recognizing that it's not something, it's not your forte, and it probably takes you a little bit longer, is it worth outsourcing that to free your time to do something you're brilliant at, and, you know, getting the business in, you know, because then you're kind of covering the costs of outsourcing. So it's just weighing it all up, really.
Definitely. I think, yeah, I read a book called Life Leverage by Rob Moore, probably about, I forget how long ago it was, probably 4 or 5 years ago, it feels like now. But actually, it completely transformed how I thought about tasks, because we talked about hourly rates and things like that. And again, obviously, if your hourly rate of what you want to achieve, the jobs below it, if you can outsource them to someone that's cheaper than what you actually earn as an hourly rate, do it, isn't it? Get a cleaner, get a gardener, get a VA, get somebody that can actually do the jobs that they love doing. You've got less stress, and you've got that time then to concentrate on actually bringing in new clients into your business, rather than obviously tidying up, emptying the bins, doing a spreadsheet. Not actually the stuff that's not actually going to bring you in money.
Bring the money in, no.
To be done, isn't it? So I think it's kind of weighing up those kind of two options, isn't it? But again, it can be really difficult to actually write down what you do. Lily's just messaged me this morning saying, right, okay, let's do our Friday kind of, yeah, what have you done this week, Jane? And I'm like, well, in how much detail? And I kind of start I'm like, no, that's too much information. No, you don't realise in a week, you underestimate, obviously, what you can do sometimes, isn't it? Obviously, they say, obviously, that you really overestimate what you can do in a year, but underestimate what you can do in 10 years. And the same goes with each day, isn't it? Because I think, actually, because we have so many meetups during the week, and actually we're interacting with each other all the time, we feel like we know each other. We feel like we've told everyone exactly what we're doing, but sometimes we've done some really great achievements, isn't it? And some wins that we think, wow, really proud we did that. That's really good, isn't it? And for you to set your accountability to become more visible, to be able to do 45 minutes live, I think that's absolutely.
Yeah, I know.
Probably, absolutely. Your tummy's going around in circles. You've got butterflies. You're probably thinking, "Oh my god!"
No, I feel more relaxed now than I did 40 minutes ago.
The thing, and I think actually, when you get to do the things that you're absolutely crapping it about, sometimes your brain's like, "Yeah, it's not as bad as I thought." And I think this is the thing, like with admin, isn't it, Jane? I put off doing the VAT returns and things like that because I think, "Oh God, I don't want to do it." But when I'm doing it, or once I've done it, actually, you get that dopamine hit, don't you? You're like, yes, sorted. But as I said, obviously, if you can outsource as many things as possible, you can move your business forward a lot quicker as well, isn't it? So happy days. Lovely, lovely. Yeah. You got any other bits and pieces you wanted to talk about before we kind of wrap up?
Yeah, the other thing I was kind of, the way I take my approach to work is sometimes as well, I can get really worried about something, so I've been given a task and I've not done it before. And sometimes I'm better if I just go, do you know what, I'm going to do it. Because as soon as I start it, I'm like, oh, this is fine. This is actually all right. And then the anxiety goes. I am a worrier. I'm just a natural worrier. I worry about everything. And yeah, it's kind of managing stuff. So yeah, it is. It's sometimes, just tackle those things that you just don't really, that are maybe worrying you, because actually sometimes they're not as bad as you think they are.
We talk about eating the frog, although it's not very, very nice thing to do.
No, not like thought, is it? No.
Called eat the frog. No. And Carly's a big fan of this, but yeah, get up in the morning and do the worst thing on your to-do list first, rather than sitting there worrying about it all day. Get it over and done with, because I think when you've got that momentum and you can kind of almost feel like, yes, I did that most difficult thing that I possibly could have thought about. It gives you that little mini victory, doesn't it? And actually,
oh yeah, definitely, sense of achievement, and real boost.
Definitely. Yeah. That's fantastic. Lovely. Well, we're going to wrap up in a second. And Lynn, obviously, if you can pop all of your contact details, so when it's posted, so obviously we've gone live today in the Coronavirus Business Support Group. We're also on the Ambition Growth Network page, but also in the members group as well. So make sure you just pop all your contact details, any information on there, and obviously what sort of business that you're looking for. Pop it all in there, and obviously everybody can then connect with you. And again, obviously ask any questions that they may have. We've got a nice little message here.
Yeah.
So great ideas. Making pages of notes. Well done, you. But yeah, I think it's interesting, isn't it? Because actually everybody's jobs are very different, aren't they? They're very varied. I think sometimes our impression of what people do can be so different, isn't it? And I think time tracking for me is a massive thing. Obviously, I don't want to work 90-hour weeks anymore, so I've got to really squash down the work that I do into 15-minute chunks, and then I think, right, I feel productive, but actually I don't want to be working hours and hours and hours. I want to get the work done quickly and efficiently, and then go and with my kids or enjoy the sunshine or whatever it may be. So that's brilliant, fantastic stuff indeed. Super. Well, thank you so much, Lynn. Really appreciate you joining
for having me. Thanks for being so. Yeah.
Well, you did it. You can tick that one off. Big tick list for Friday morning. Awesome. Obviously, this also goes on to our YouTube channel as well. So obviously, you can share that around to your heart's content. I'm sure Lily will get that plastered all over the place for you. So.
Yeah, she probably will. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, fantastic stuff. It's really good that you've managed to do that. And as I said, obviously, again, it's repurposing it, isn't it? And obviously taking all the little snippets to be able to make content for your audience going forward. So well done you, and we'll catch up with you soon. Take care.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Have a good weekend. Bye.
Thank you. Oh, so that was the amazing Lynn. She's so lovely, isn't she? Absolutely fabulous. And listen, it's really great for us to get to know our new members at AGN. So she only joined last month and she's come on in leaps and bounds, really proud of her achievements. So obviously we're going to wrap up in a second this morning, but if anyone is interested in becoming a member of AGN, which is Ambition Growth Network, obviously I've just popped all the little details. If you have a look down the bottom here, obviously pop to our website, which is ambitiongrowthnetwork.co.uk/membership. All of the information and details on there. We also have a fantastic free app. I think you can see just here. We have a free app and it's called Ambition Growth Network. You can search for it on Apple or Android. It's on both of those, and as I interact with us and get to know some more information. If you are a business owner, entrepreneur that's just setting off, or looking at becoming more virtual, understanding a bit more about personal development, or you want to network, make more money, and live a better life, come and join us. We'd love to have you on board. So take care. Catch you next week. Bye.